Good evening, guys. My name is Karthik. Okay, I'm from the team Sukshmas. Today, I'm going to discuss about solution for the placement activities questions appeared on Sunday exam. And this is the first question. This question belongs to the singleton class. Then first, you have to understand about what exactly the singleton class. Singleton class is nothing but is restricted to create a single object per class. That is the reason we need to go for the singleton class. I will repeat once again. So it will restrict that class to create a single object, or you can say single object per class. So that is the reason we need to go for the singleton class. And here class followed by the college is the class name, and here I'm using the static and college, and this is the reference. I'm assigning null to the reference, and this is the private constructor present in the class, and this is what the static method returns the reference. Static method returns the reference. That is the reason return type should be class name. You should mention here. And here this is the another class, public class singleton test1, and execution of the program begin from the main method. Here I have created the first, this is the class name college dot get reference. When the compiler encounters this code, definitely it will hit for the method called get reference. First, it will go for the method get reference. It will go inside. Initially, I'm assigning null for the C. Null is equal to null. It's just true. Now inside, I'm trying to create an object for the college, and also I'm assigning to the reference. I'm returning the reference. While you are returning the reference, your return type should be college. Again, control is coming back. That will be assigned for the reference C. And in the same way, again, with the help of the class name followed by the dot operator followed by the method name calling, it will coming back for the same get reference method. And here, this step here, this is C is not null now, so definitely it will go for the else part. So in the else part also, we are returning the reference. It is coming back for the same position here. And also again, we are trying to call the same method with the help of the class name. It will reach us here. Again, it never executes the if. Why? Because we are already assigned some object to the reference called C. Definitely it will go for the else part. Again, it will come back for the same position. It will assign for the reference. What exactly the question here is, how many number of object will be created in the below code? And here in this code, only a single object will be created. These are the options 3, 2, 1, and of the above. And here in this code, a single object will be created. I will execute and show it to you. And this is the code. And execution of the program begin from the main method with the help of the class name of calling the get reference. It will go here. Initially was assigned C for the null, condition become true, null is equal to null. Here only a single object will be created here. After creating an object, I am returning the reference. While you are returning the reference, your return type should be a college class name. It is coming back for the same position. It will happen same for this here also and here also. For the second time, C is not null. Why? Because we already assigned an object to here. So second time, definitely it never go for the if, it will go for the else part. So here I'm just returning the reference of the C. It is coming back for the same position stored over here. And here is also in this code, definitely it is also invoke the else part, and the reference will be stored over here. The conclusion is here only a single object is created per class, and this is what exactly the code is. And this is the second question on predict an output of this code, whether the compilation fails at line 7 or the line 9, and compilation fails at line 21 or none of the above. These are the option. And here is also, this is also code belongs to the singleton class only with the different implementation. Here I'm using the static block here. While if you are trying to execute this code at the time of the class loading A1 only, the static block will be executed first, and first it will print static block, and after that it will create an object. It will create an object. This is another way of writing the singleton class. And here I have a private constructor. Here is also have a method. This method returns the reference. Why? Because object is already created assigned for the reference, and the reference will be written. But exactly the concept here is, so where exactly the compile time error encounters here. So here private constructor which is present in the class called A1. So inside the Sukshmas 2, I have created an object for the class. If I created an object for the class, the private constructor is also present in the different class A1. Okay. And here if you are trying to create an object for the class, you will get the compile time error. Why? Because the private constructor present in the class called a1. The private constructor present over here in the second class Sukshmas2, if you are trying to create an object for the class a1, so you will get the compile time error. So here the option is, so compilation fails at line number 21. So we'll run and show it to you. This is the code to see. Just observe here. So this is another way of achieving the singleton class. Because of this private constructor, we are getting the compile time error. And this is another way of achieving the singleton class with the help of the static block also. Okay, and here the thing is, here why we are getting the error is, here I'm introducing the private constructor here. So we are introducing the private constructor. So that's the reason you are getting the compile time error. Just observe here, you are getting the compile time error because of the private constructor. Suppose if you are trying to comment this one, then there is a no error. So if you are trying to run this code at the time of class loading only, first it will give the preference for the static block. That is the reason static block will be printed. Then after that it will create an object. Then after that you are calling this getref. This is returning the reference. This is a1 is a return type. Return type you should use the class name. Why? Because I'm returning the reference. That is the reason you should use the class name. So here the question is, where exactly the compile time error encounters in the code. Exact answer is here. Why? Because the private constructor present in the class. That is the reason you are getting the compile time error in the line number 21. This is the third question. Uh, and this concept is belongs to the wrapper class. Then why we need to go for the wrapper class? And if you want to represent everything in object format in Java, so we should go for the wrapper class. And in this code I'm trying to explain about unboxing. What exactly the unboxing? If you are trying to convert object into the primitive, this is what the concept of the unboxing. Okay, wrapper class is, so why we need to go for the wrapper class in the sense, if you want to convert primitive into an object, objective into the primitive, we should go for the wrapper class. And here the concept is unboxing. Unboxing is nothing but conversion of object into the primitive. And this is what exactly the code. Here I've created the wrapper class object with the value 10. And after that, this is the word primitive. Int k1 is equal to, I'm trying to assign the wrapper class reference. And after that, here the wrapper class object or the reference dot int value I'm explicitly calling. So I'm asking about whether the compilation fails at line 5 or the line 6 or the compilation fail at line 7. And here the correct answer is none of the above. So exactly all three lines of the code is properly organized, and it is the correct code only. Okay, and this is what the concept of unboxing. Unboxing is nothing but conversion of object into the primitive. And here I am directly assigning k, the wrapper class reference an object to the primitive k1. And here compiler implicitly add k dot int value. No need to write explicit. And if you want to write explicitly, yes, it is possible. You can write like this also, k dot int value. If you are not writing anything, compiler implicitly take how it exactly treat internally k dot int value. And this is what how we are writing in an explicit way. And I will show it to you with execution. And here absolutely there is no error. There is no error. You will get the proper value. This is what the concept of conversion of object into the primitive. And here it will take the internally it will take k dot int value, or else explicitly you can write it. And this is what the concept of the wrapper class and especially unboxing. So we'll go for the next. This is the fourth question, public class Sukshmas 4, and this is the generic questions, generics. T extends number and execution of the program begin from the main. And here I'm asking Sukshmas 4 number and T is equal to new Sukshmas 4. I'm using the number here. I'm just asking whether the compilation fails at line 3 or the line 4 or line 5 or line 6. Here I'm using number In the generic type and integer I'm using, and float I'm using the strings also. And here one point you have to remember here is, and t indicates that here type, and it is a bounded type. What exactly it is? T indicates the type. As a type parameter we can pass either the same class, you can pass the same class, or else its child class you should pass it. What exactly the same? Just observe this code. This is the number. I have created an object for the Sukshma 4 that is belongs to the number. The same type. T indicates the type. Number extends number. Yes, it is possible. The next one is integer. Integer also extend from the number. Why? It's a child class. Here the point you have to remember is, we can pass either the same class, or else you can pass the child class. Integer also is belongs to the child class, and float is also belongs to the child class of the number. And here I'm trying to pass the string here. With the help of the generics I'm using the string, and so that here you will get the compile time error, compilation fails at line number 6. Then I will show it to you through the execution. And see, just observe here. See, number extends number. Yes, it is possible. Same time, there's an integer extends number. Yes, why? Because integer is a child class of number. And float is also extends number. Yes, it is possible. Why? Because of float is a subclass of the number. And if you are trying to pass a string, and this is not a subclass of number, that's the reason you are getting the compile time error at line 6. And this is the conclusion about the question number 4. Then I will move for the next question. This is nothing but the variable argument question. This concept is belongs to the variable argument. So first, before that, you should understand about what exactly the variable argument methods. So variable argument method introduced in the Java JDK 5.0 version. Variable argument is nothing but a method, okay, that accepts the variable argument parameter. This is what the syntax: void fee, this is data type, followed by 3 dot you should use, and followed by the variable name. How exactly it looks: void followed by the fees is a method name, int followed by 3 dot followed by the a. How exactly to treat internally? This is nothing but, this is number of parameters value stored in the form of arrays. In this way it would look like number of parameters value stored in the form of the arrays. It is introduced in JDK 5.0 version. So why we need to go for that variable argument? Suppose if I have only one method here, so if I'm trying to create a object for this class with the help of the reference, if I'm trying to pass 10 and 20, so it will go for the two argument method. Suppose if I'm directly call a dot add with a zero argument, definitely will get the compile time error. For 10 also, it will get the compile time error. Why? Because and it is expecting one argument integer type, and here it is expecting three argument integer type. So that's the reason for these three lines you will get the compile time error. And here this line definitely it will work. Why? Because it is expecting the two argument. We have a two argument method in our class called variable argument. Okay, so that's the reason, to overcome this difficulty they are introducing the concept called variable argument. Variable argument is nothing but with the help of the single method. Here just observe here how many number of arguments. This is zero argument, yes it will accept. One argument, yes it will accept. Two argument, yes it will accept. Three argument also it will accept. So this is the best use of variable argument, and some of the rules also you should be remember. And always a variable argument should be the last parameter. Always it should be the last. And if you are trying to use in the first parameter, definitely it's invalid. And if you are trying to use in the both the parameters, definitely this is also invalid. This is the brief about the variable argument. What exactly the question here is, and this is what the overriding concept. Overriding is nothing but whatever the method which is present in the base class, we are trying to use the same method in the derived class, but we can change the implementation. We can write a different implementation in the derived class. So here execution of the program begin from the main. Here I have created the reference for the Sukshmas 5 parent class, an object for the derived class. This is concept we call it subcasting. And after that, with the help of the reference, I'm calling the add, and also I'm passing the 1000. So definitely it will invoke the method which is present in the derived class is nothing but a test. So it will display child class, and followed by the 1000 will be displayed on the screen. Why? Because this is a completely method overriding mechanism with the help of variable arguments method. And I will execute and show it to you how exactly works. So what I was asking here, compilation fails at line 2 or line 7. This is what the options. And here definitely one more option is parent class followed by the 1000 and the child class followed by the 1000. This is what. And if you are trying to run this code, so definitely it will invoke the method which is present in the child class. So it will invoke the add method which is present in the child class. That is the reason child class followed by the 1000 will be displayed on the screen. This is completely overriding mechanism with the help of variable argument method. So answer is child class followed by the 1000 will be displayed on the screen. And this is the next question. With respect to the string constant pool and the heap memory, which statements are true? Duplicates object not allowed in the string constant pool, and string constant pool saves the memory, and duplicates are allowed in heap. For runtime operation, if any object requires to create, that object will be created in heap memory. And these are all the options. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 4 and all the above. And here the proper answer is all the above. All the statements are true, but I will explain through the slides. This is what exactly the code public class immutable execution of the program begin from the main method. Here I created string s is equal to sukshmas. So what will happen here? This is what the string constant pool is a separate place in the heap memory. So first I have created the first for every string literal it will create an object with the value sukshmas in the string constant pool and s is pointing to here. Then after that, again, I'm trying to create an object with the same value sukshmas in the string constant pool. JVM will go here. It will check whether the object with the same value is present or not. If it is present, it never creates the same object with the same value. So in this way, here you can save your memory also, and duplicates object are not allowed. Why? Because JVM will come here, will check whether the object with the value sukshmas is already there or not. If it is there, no need to create a new object with the same value. If it is not there, definitely it will create an object with the value. That's the reason. This is one point you have to remember. So string constant pool duplicates objects are not allowed here. So that is the reason if a duplicate objects are not allowed, definitely it will save your memory. And coming back to the question, this is the what the duplicates objects are not allowed in the string constant pool. This is the first point, and string constant pool saves your memory. How exactly saves your memory? And this is the diagram you have to remember. The second one is duplicates are allowed in heap for runtime operation. If any object requires to create, that object will be created in the heap area. So go for it here. This is what string s is equal to new string followed by the sukshmas, and here every for the string literal object with the value sukshmas will be created in the string constant pool. When the new keyword encounters, definitely a separate object will be created in the heap with the value sukshmas. But here, yes, it's still pointing to the object with the value stored in the heap. It never is pointing to the object with the value present in the string constant pool. In the same way, again, second line, string s1 is equal to new string of sukshmas. Again, it will go for here. It's already object with the value sukshmas present in the string constant pool. That is the reason it will create a new object. No need to create a new object here. Why? Because the duplicates are not allowed here. But in the case of heap, it will create an object, new object with the same value sukshmas. Why? Because we are using the so because of this one s1, so object will be created with the value sukshmas that will be stored in a heap. And here the point you have to remember is in a heap duplicates are allowed. In string constant pool duplicates are not allowed. This is the diagram you have to remember. And also with the help of when you use a new keyword, definitely an object with the value stored in always heap. And now you have to remember this 2 point now. Duplicates are allowed in heap. Yes, duplicates are allowed in heap. Next one, for runtime operation, if any object requires to create, that object will be created in heap. When you're using the new, definitely a runtime object will be created in the heap. This is the point you have to remember. We'll go for the next code. This is the next code. And public class Sukshmas1 and execution of the program begin from the main method. Here I have created the object for the array list. With the help of predefined method, I'm trying to add the 10, 3 as well as the 5. And here I'm trying to create the reference for the enumeration. Enumeration is nothing but the interface, and how to get the reference of the enumeration with the help of the elements method. Here I'm using array list reference dot elements. Then after that, enumeration interface having some predefined method has more elements of the Boolean type and the next element. Here the option what exactly I'm providing, whether you will get an output of 10 3 5 or 3 5 10 or else compile time error or else runtime. Exact answer is compile time error. Then I will demonstrate through code why exactly the compile time error. Just observe this code. So now how to get the object or the reference for the enumeration, how to get the reference. So if you use array list reference dot elements method, definitely will get the compile time error. Suppose if you use a linked list also, you will get the compile time error. Then how to get the reference of the enumeration interface, you should use the vector class always. Now I created an object for the vector class. With the help of the add method, I'm trying to add all the elements. So reference of the vector class, then followed by elements method you should use, then only you can get the enumeration. But if you use array list and the linked list, definitely you will get the compile time error. So we'll repeat once again, if you use array list, see, you will get the compile time error like see cannot find symbol. Again, if you comment this one, if you use a linked list, definitely you will get the compile time error. To overcome all the difficulties, so you better to use the vector class. So then it works fine. So it will maintain the insertion order 10, 3, 5 that will be displayed on the screen. This is what the question. So here compilation fails, compile time error. This is the solution for the particular question. We'll go for the next question, and the next question is find out the interface. And here I'm using collection set, sorted set, tree set, and navigable set. And options are options 1 and 2, and options 1 and 2 and 3, and options 1, 2, 3, 5. Another one is option 4. And here the solution is just try to observe this diagram first. Collection is interface and set is also interface. And here sorted set interface, navigable set is interface, and tree set is a class here. So what exactly find out interface? These all are the interface only. Collection is interface, set is interface, sorted set is interface, navigable set is interface, tree set is a class. Just observe this: collection interface, set interface, sorted set interface, navigable set interface, but tree set is a class. Got it? What exactly the answer now? Option 1, then 2, then 3, then followed by the 5. This is what the answer. And the next question is, which one is not child interface of collection? Here the options are list, set, queue, and map. Here one more point you have to remember is here, these are all the list, set, and queue. These are all the child interface of collection, and here is a map. Map is not a child interface of collection. This is the point you have to remember. Very important question. And list, set, queue. These are all the interface. This is the child interface of the collection, and map is not a child interface of collection. This is the point you have to remember. The next question is, and find out the legacy class here. The options are array list, linked list, vector, and stack. And options are 4, option 3 and 4, and option 1, and option 1 and 4. What exactly the legacy class? So here the legacy class is vector and stack is the legacy class. Then before that you have to understand about what exactly the legacy class. Legacy class is nothing but which is derived from the older versions of Java. Earlier version of Java is nothing but 1.0 version. These are all the legacy classes. You can take a vector and the stack and another class is there. Hash table is also legacy class, and properties also belongs to the legacy class, and dictionary is also there. This is belongs to the abstract class, and enumeration is there. Enumeration is also legacy interfaces. This is legacy abstract class, legacy interfaces, and legacy classes: vector, stack, hash table, and the properties. And these are all the questions appeared in the placement preparation. We'll go through this all the questions again. This is the first question, and then this is the second question. Third question belongs to the wrapper class implementation. This is the fourth question belongs to the generics. The first and second questions belongs to the singleton class, and the fifth question is belongs to the variable argument methods. Next question belongs to the string concept and how to understand about the string concept pool and the heap. And the next question is belongs to the how to get an object for the like enumeration, how to get the reference. This is belongs to the collection question, and this is also belongs to the collection question, and this also belongs to the collection frameworks question only. And this is last one is also belongs to the collection frameworks. And try to execute the code in front of the laptop so that you will get the better ideas and better knowledge. Okay, and thanks for attending the session, and see you on the next Sunday's activity solutions. I will take a class on next Monday. I will solve whatever the questions appear on Sunday. I will try to solve. Thank you all.